Hey guys, this is D, aka Dark Frozen Depths, and I'm not planning on doing too much on this video because of the fact that this is something that I've been repeatedly doing videos of because that's how union events work. They just keep rerunning like every so often in a cycle. So that said, I don't plan on doing too much time on this. I'll just go over some things quickly and then call it a day. But few things I gotta mention too is the fact that one reason why I'm back to using this was mentioned in a previous video, but yeah, done with HBC forums and all that, so you're gonna see this format immediately and nothing else really. So that's the thing with that. Second is the fact that if I'm correct, we should be getting Trish Traya with this event, and that said, if we are, she's a extremely good light character that's going to be in there. Last I remember, she's still part of the light meta later down the line, and in the DMM server. I don't know for sure how good she truly is, but I do know she's a very well sought after one. So if you don't happen to get Light Nikke, who we still got a chance of getting until like the 31st of this month, Trish Traya is another one to really go after. Or Tish Traya, it's hard to pronounce her name. But either way, I do plan on pulling for both of them because I want them both. So that's the whole thing for that one. Fortunately, I already missed the boosted rates because here's the third thing. Recently, I've been having like less work than normal because that's pretty much how my job is. It slows down a lot, so I haven't been getting too much on the financial aspect, but that's going to change pretty soon. So that's why you haven't seen any pool videos in a while because I literally don't have the money for it. But anyways, that's what I'm... Whoa, how did that happen? Okay, that's what I'm done talking about. Getting on to the actual event itself. Of course, with every union event, there's always a Willem to get. So get her, sell her off for magic, for Adoan orbs, and then you can get magic jewels and stuff and all that from these events as well. So there's literally no reason to skip these events. You're still getting some free stuff that's worth it. And then even if you do plan on keeping a Willem, never ever set her as a main, because I cannot stress that enough. That is something that's kind of like there's only one Willem you probably should set as a main, and that's the Phantom Willem, just to help for when you're leveling up characters on Sunday Quest, because you could just put a mixed element team in there, run through the easy Cave of Gold ore with a Phantom Willem just to cover everybody getting at least 70% assault, and then just run with that. Now, if you do happen to have a team that, like, say, you got 5 wind characters you're trying to level up, then just go ahead and use a normal wind add-on. But if it's mixed element, there you go. Other than that, these Wilms are never really meant for front line unless you're like a very, very early starting player. But for people that's like ranked 50 plus still using them as leads, bad idea. Because you can do a lot better than that. Especially considering the fact that pretty soon we're going to eventually get an SSR version of Diablos. So that said, she's going to end up being better than the Wilms, even though she works the same way. Because it'll work just like the Phantom Willem, only it'll be a 100% increase to a totally different frame of boost, which means it will combine with Assault and the Elemental attack. So, honestly, a possible strategy is to probably build up your Assault, and if you're using 100% Idolin, set that as your main, and then get a Phantom Diablos. You got 3 different frames of boost going out, so who knows? Like, it's weird, but it can work. It's just the fact that it's like really, really niche. Because I've seen a video of somebody on one of the DMM videos where somebody actually used the SSR Diablos. So either way, getting back on point, never ever try to set a Willem unless it's a Phantom one as a main, and only in a certain situation. If you plan on actually taking on content like that, then if you can, more power to you, but it's really not recommended. They're best to use as sub add-ons if you are going to hold on to them because of the buffs. But that's really it. Also, I could say the same thing about the Dragoons, because they don't really increase the healing cap, they just give you more healing up till the cap. So if you're already hitting the cap, it's useless. But anyways, this is what you're dealing with. It's going to be a dark one. My white team's going to have a goddamn field day on this. But anyways, you're going to get debuffed with defense down. And the boss is going to buff their own attack power if you're fighting the Willem fights. So be very careful of that. You can start taking a lot of damage if you're not careful. And then for the expert and ultimate fights, it's looking like you're going to get all your buffs purged along with their debuffs cleared on expert. So you have to be very careful of that. So if anything, try to prevent them from having the raging debuff. And then on top of that too, it seems like they may or may not have added a trigger in this. I'm not sure. It says dark damage to legendary unit, and then cancels all the I think that might have to do an extension of the raging thing. Either way, the biggest thing is to try and keep them out of raging if they're about to nuke you with a burst. So it's not too bad to worry about, at least if you do it right. Expert is very hard to sit and manipulate their mode changes because it really doesn't take that much. Even weaker players can do that. Now, ultimate, you're really going to get hit with a lot of damage if it keeps buffing itself because it'll get continuous attack. I mean, I think the first one was a normal attack power increase, so you're going to get comboed a lot more if you leave those on. Either way, you're looking like you may need to pay attention to what modes they're in. Or if you can just completely destroy them with bursts, then that's another thing. I know I'll have a field day on burst time. But that's the main thing with that. Yeah, ultimate's gonna buff attack power, double, triple. So you may or may not want a character that can remove those if you're doing ultimate fights. Expert, just keep it out of raging. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Now, of course, going for all the achievements, you're gonna want 3 million individual participation points, so you better be doing a lot on your own. You're going to want 60 million union participation points. This might be doable if you're on your own and grinding ever-loving crap out of this event, and you probably still got to be pretty strong. But this is one of the main reasons why you pretty much want to be in a union. Now, it's feasible to sip and get 3 million participation points on your own. It's feasible to get 150 expert kills on your own. Ultimate kills is kind of pushing it, and the 60 million participation points, you're probably going to need help. So, you can indeed join unions, you just can't leave them. So, that's something to know. And then, of course, all the stuff you're getting, you pretty much get the Holy Soul points. So, for people that haven't unlocked souls like Shingen and Herc and all of them, yeah, here's your chance. You can also get some Dragonic Eyes, you can get some Grimoires, you can get SSR weapons, we'll get to that in a second because one of them's new. You of course get the Willems and all that. Another interesting thing of why you should grind this is the fact that it will guarantee you some SSR accessories for darkness, and they do that for all the elements, so that's another thing. Plus you'll get special accessory experience items for that too. But if you are clearing out the rank 5 accessory quests, then you may or may not need these. Anything before that, you can use the extra help because you're not guaranteed SSRs. And don't forget, you can get a crap ton of grails too. For skill leveling, you're going to need it. And it's perfect timing for me because I can go and start up a fire catastrophe rate myself and probably clear it with my white team on my own. But even then, I'm very close to getting that 30 grail mark. I think I will be getting Joan for it because I've heard the suggestion from multiple people. So I'm hearing my setup actually does get a lot more of a boost with Joan, so that's something to know about. So I'm probably going to get Joan and try and get a weapon for her. I haven't decided on which one just yet though, because they can use the HP too. But anyways, here's what I really wanted to get to. Now, the SR weapons, they're both Defender. Don't worry about them. You can get Defender somewhere else. Heck, you can get Defender if you can if you can final break the SSR axe that makes a return. So you're going to get pretty much a fluctuating assault, because Pride works like this. It'll give you 10% assault, and then it gives you a bonus based on the HP you've lost. And it can actually help quite a bit. So that's something to know. But the other one is also very interesting. It's a dark hammer where it will give you a large assault, guaranteed. It's not no pride weapon. But if you can max break it, like final break it, you'll be able to get a burst increase as well. And those weapons are very, very powerful when you're going for damage output. So that's something to know. Unless you got characters that can just spike it like crazy, like I hear so much about Uriel from the fire team. I unfortunately could not pull her, but yeah. But you can get characters that can beef up your burst damage, then you may or may not need these. But either way, that's something to know. Plus, if you have, I gotta say this right out the gate too. If you have any of Shingen's soul weapons where it'll increase her buff to provisional force, you probably don't need no burst extensions because you're either hitting the cap or near it. I'm pretty sure of it. Because that can turn an SSR team to hit the burst cap, I do believe. So that's something to know. And then, of course, every Union event now has a ranking system. Do as best you can, and you can get a lot of magic jewels, a lot of Dragonic Eye Shards. That's the important one. And then on top of that, some more grails. So keep that in mind. Especially the Dragonic Eye Shards, because we're going to start getting an update to our Dragonic Eye trades eventually. And when it does happen, there's going to be a special miracle ticket that's worth 150 Dragonic Eyes. Now, why would you want to go for that? It lets you practically pick anything in the game. I don't know full details on what you can pick, but if there really is no limits on that, you can pick any event characters or Eidolons we may have had. You can pick 100% Eidolons. You can pick random limited characters that may have passed. Like, I can go back and get Celica for the water team if I wanted to. Like, that's something to remember. So, if you're not awakening Kamihime, and you really shouldn't go out your way to awaken all of them, some of them do suck. But if you aren't awakening Kamihime, try to save your Dragonic Eye Shards unless you seriously feel like you need the SSR guaranteed pulls. So that's something to know. Now, to actually extend this a little bit further and show you something interesting, we're going to take a look at Trish Trya right now. Or Tish Trya. I really don't know how to pronounce her name, but you should know who I'm talking about. The interesting thing is she came right after Nikke. They both work in a similar way. I do remember that much. Because we already had Aphrodite appear. And she is very, very, very cute. And I know for a fact she's coming soon because if you've seen the Kamihime database tab on a few of my videos, yeah, she's in there. Because apparently data miners are capable of actually going in there and seeing who they're going to add next. So I can usually see the next 2 Eidolons and the next 2 Kamihime for each rarity and all that. So yeah. But anyway, she does work in a way like Nikke where she can do a multitude of different things. First things foremost, her burst actually has a special effect where it can put regen and barrier and increase defense. I'll find out if it's team-wide, but even if it's self, that's given her a lot of sustainability. Now, for her first ability, she's going to lower so much crap it's not even funny. It's like a Morgid level type of stuff. And this is one of the main reasons why she's been so sought after. B-frame debuffing. That much I knew. And that's one of the reasons why I want her. I get this, I will not need Sniper Shot ever as an EX skill. Letting me have free reign with Herc. And then I've also thought about possibly getting Shingen for my light team. So, there's that too. But I've already gotten Herc's weapon, I'm pretty invested on it. So I'll at least finish it off before I go work on Shingen's. But, that's the whole thing. B-frame debuffing. These are very hard to find with light characters. So, that said, honestly, I think B-frame's hard to find with anybody other than the stackables. But that said, this is one of the main reasons why you want her. The next reason. She will do pretty much an attack boost, a critical rate boost by the looks of it, because that's what key point usually is, and a triple rate increase. It takes some of her HP, but at the same time, it really gives a buff to the entire team. And then the last one says complete HP recovery. I don't know if it's full healing her or not. And it says 20% of max HP. Does she need to have a certain amount of HP in order to use it? That's weird. This is something I haven't really known about her too much. But she can increase her avoidance rate, meaning I think that might be the same dodge skill that Tartarus gives. I don't know. And then she gives dark resistance, but that's only niche. And then she can increase her burst gauge when using abilities, so we'll see what that does too. But anyways, yes, her regen for when she gets uses her burst, it's going to be 250 per turn. She'll put a berry of 1,000, and it does seem like it increases her own defense. In the Phantom Beast frame, no doubt. So it's like if you summoned who is it? Hekaton Shires. It will put a defense up in that frame. So yeah, that's something to know. And then, like I said, B frame debuffing. And if you increase this ability, it goes a 6-turn cooldown. That is very good. Now, this next one, I'm already seeing a lot of good stuff. And it's in C frame on the attack up. That is insanely good. So, here's the thing. You get a 20% sneak attack chance by the looks of it. 30% attack up in the C frame. Meaning if I did something like, say, put Herc with Arthur's buff, that's a 50% attack increase. Holy crap. And then on top of that, it's also going to give a 25% chance of a triple combo rate. They kind of tested it out here. That is nuts. That is very, very nuts. Oh wait, it says 25%. It says the chance of it is 35%. So a 35% chance for 25% more damage. So either way, that's very good just for the attack increase. But you got all this other stuff going with it. That is insane. Problem is, it's going to snipe off 10% of her HP every time she uses it. So be careful of that. And then on top of that, she has this. She can single unit heal and up the avoidance rate, so it is just like Tartarus' skill, and give a 30% damage cut against Dark. That is insane. And the funny thing is, the heal is set at 100,000, so I'm guessing, because they probably didn't expect our HP to go past 100,000 anyways. Somebody did hit 50,000 though. But it says the recovery amount is set at 100,000. Holy shit, that's insane. But it does take 20% of her HP when she uses it, so you have to be careful. If you use it on yourself, you're only getting an 80% heal. Because I'm guessing the 20% kicks in after the heal it does. It still can help her sustain herself, so that's not too bad. Ooh, so if I do get her, I don't necessarily know who's going to be on my front line, because Michael's due for an awakening soon. I don't know if it's sometime this month or next month. But Michael is due for an awakening pretty soon. Then on top of that, I have Awakened Soul. I have the light version of Tsukiyomi. And then I have SSR Artemis. So that's a very powerful front line. I mean, granted, I'd probably be better off sticking her with I'd probably be better off sticking her in Soul Spot, maybe. possibly Michael's if I really needed a replacement for that, but between her and Michael, that'd be a very powerful burst front line right there because it ups the combo rate and the damage power. So I don't know who I'd use if I get her, but I absolutely am going to get her because, hey, guess what? If I don't get her now, I'm getting her next Miracle ticket, which is like 4 months down the line, but still. And then every time she uses an ability, her burst goes up by 10. Oh, it says by fulfilled heart ability. Okay, so yeah. She can get very fast burst increase. But that leaves a problem because, granted, it puts her in a very good position being able to be on the second slot where you put your very first Kamihime at. But at the same time, it means that she'll get targeted a lot more because those on the front of the lead formation usually get hit more often. Usually. And I don't know how true that is because they seem to hit my back line more than the front. But then again, who knows? All I know is this. She is a very, very powerful unit if you can keep her HP up. Just be very careful of the buff when you put it on your team. It takes 3 turns cooldown, but it lasts for 5. And then with her other skill too, it's 6 turn cooldown but lasts for 5 on the buffs at least. So to be quite honest, she's got very good buff times too. Buff times and cooldowns are pretty good. One buff outlasts her cooldown, so you can effectively keep it up all the time, as long as you keep her HP going. So that's insane. You just gotta pay attention to the HP. If she gets awakened eventually, I'll seriously see some powerful potential in her. But anyways, that's all I got for this video. Like I said, she's going to be well worth it if you get your hands on her. Anybody that's using a light team should definitely make a beeline for her. She's that good. Like, I will say, without a doubt, the 4 top priority characters you absolutely should have for light. Soul, Tsukiyomi, SSR Artemis, and now this girl. When Michael gets awakened, you're going to want her too. But I managed to pull her luckily, so there you go. But anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. More of this is going to come soon, and like I said, whatever you do, try not to skip any union events, because even if you're a long-time player and you've been here for a while, you've gotten a lot of stuff from them, you gotta remember that there's still free SSR stuff, there's still magic jewels, there's still tickets and all that. You don't have to go too far out your way to get them either, so. Except for maybe the extra magic jewels, because, you know, rankings, but other than that, you get free stuff from those lists, so try to be diligent on this. In my case, it's going to be a little bit harder to be diligent because I got 4 different things, but since I got more time on my hands for right now, I can handle it. Anyways, like I said, free stuff. Always try to get the free crap, because, quite frankly, the majority of it's very easy to get it, and this is one of the games where they're actually quite generous with it, so something you really do need to take advantage of. And then, there's one more thing I also got to point out. I don't know when it's going to happen, but eventually we will start seeing the appearance of 120% Idolans. There's only going to be 4 of them because I've seen that so far on the Idolan list. But they work just like Anubis and Monogarmer. You're not getting the full effect until you start matching Idolan elements. So when they come out, that's when you might want to start saving Idolans of every single element type. I'm probably going to go out of my way to actually use Idolan orbs to go back and get what's her name? St. Nicholas. Because I haven't fully gotten her before. So that led me to get rid of her, but now I'm probably going to just buckle down and get her. Plus, I could set her as a main for more power until I hopefully get Monogarmer. But anyways, that's all for this video, guys. Do this event, trust me, and take care.